Hi, my name is Gudrun from GE Designs. Welcome to our live show, Tipsy Tuesday. Newer to our shows, make sure you subscribe to our channel on YouTube and on Facebook.
I'm sorry, everybody. I am jacking up. I am jacking up. Can you hear us? Okay, good. Okay. Thumbs up if you can hear us.
Wait, were we no sound? We were also muted? Wow.
Oh, I think they can hear us now.
No,
Gudrun is muted.
no nightcap for you.
Sound, please, everybody. I can't hear.
Can they hear me now?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, boy.
Can you guys hear us?
Well, thank you for being here. Again, we appreciate you through all of these trials and tribulations. We are so happy to be here. I feel like I've been on vacation from shows for a while, but since I didn't have the show on Friday.
Yeah.
But I was busy, you guys. I stayed busy. So lots to share.
What have you been doing?
Well, maybe can't share all of it yet.
Okay.
But those coming to our Stripology retreat, get a little sneak peek of it. They get a sneak peek always.
Okay, sneak peek.
We, of course, have a great show for you. Today is the first Jambalaya block goes live, so that's going to be our tip of the day. But, of course, remember to stick around with us. Stay here till the end of the show. We have a giveaway question at the end that you can answer for a chance to win a gift card. So last week's giveaway question was, have you ever seen the Northern Lights? And if so, where from? And lots of great answers.
Yeah.
Lots of folks that's their dream to see them. And lots of folks that have seen them.
Okay.
So the winner, this from last week is...
Drum roll, please.
Marjorie Shanks. Congratulations, Marjorie. She has not seen the Northern Lights, although she's been to specifically Selfoss twice.
Okay.
Not just Iceland. Selfoss is, of course, the greatest town in Iceland. Best ever.
Best pool.
Where I was born and raised. And my family lives, but she didn't see the lights those times. You have to go at a certain time of year. You have to get lucky with it being kind of clear skies.
Yeah.
And it needs to be really dark too. Dark, cold, and clear skies.
Yeah.
Combination that's hard to find sometimes in Iceland. You can't order it up. It's nature.
No.
It's nature.
Exactly.
So congratulations, Marjorie. Just send us an email to help@gequiltdesigns to claim your prize.
Okay.
But it is finally time for our Jambalaya first block. Yes, first block, first quilt, whatever you're going to do with Jambalaya. This is our program that we're starting our first block today. And then every month during Tipsy Tuesday, fourth Tuesday of the month, you will get a brand new block pattern, which is like, these are big blocks. So we're talking 32-inch blocks. And then, of course, a video. Now, the video that goes in your account you have to purchase the program. But the video that goes in your account is going to include the cutting instructions. In our tip of the day, we cannot include the cutting instructions because that is going to compromise our intellectual property. But I will, though, take you through the steps and how the parts of the block are stripologized. So are we ready to kick it off?
Yes, sir.
Let's do it. get started, you're gonna need to have your pattern. It's gonna be 3 pages. And then you're also going to need to have your Jambalaya general instructions that came as a separate PDF with a Jambalaya project. So have that all handy. We're gonna be referring to that throughout the process. First off, you wanna cut all your pieces. And here I have all my pieces cut and labeled with my clips and organizing stickers. So I'm ready to move on to the construction. So starting in step 1, we're gonna take our A strips, and what I did first is I sewed them together into a strip set, so just the light and the dark. Obviously it was wider, and then I cut that apart just through the center and sewed them back together, so I'm alternating the 2 colors. From here, we are going to subcut this one and piece them into a 16 patch. So I'm going to use my ruler here. Whenever I'm subcutting, I want to make sure that I have horizontal lines aligned with the seams on the block. I know I'm also going to be needing 10 inches, so I always check where my first and last cuts are going to be. If you want to, you can put your arrows on the marks that you're going to cut. But in this case, we are going to be using just 2.5 inch increments. So I'm just going to use the black squares on my ruler already to make my subcuts, starting through the 0 and then just following the black squares. So you're going to be able to get 4 units out of this. Here we go. So once you have that, we are simply going to turn every other and then sew these back together for the center of our block. I sewed them together. All these seams are going to nest because I pressed towards the darker fabric. So once you have that pieced like this, it's going to come together nicely. Make sure you just press your seams in the same direction, or you can press them open, either way. It really doesn't matter. And then that concludes our step 2. Set this one aside, and we're going to move on to step number 3, making our flying geese. So in our general instructions, you'll find the G-Easy flying geese technique. So I started with my 2 squares, and I'm actually going to do 3 and 4 together. I like to join those. So here I have my 2 pieces for the flying geese in step 3 and 4. It's 2 different colorings. The smaller square is the same fabric, it's the background fabric. So I layered them right sides together and centered that smaller square on it. I cut them apart and took them straight to my sewing machine and sewed right on the cut edges and pressed towards the larger piece. So pressed towards that darker piece, away from the background. And then I layered them back together as shown in the general instructions. I did not nest the seams. You want to make sure you're aligning the raw edges. And then I used my ruler to cut it apart again across the seams. So this is 2 layers. I took it straight to my sewing machine, and now we have units that would look like this. So you are going to be making 4 flying geese of each colorway. So I have a unit that 2 units that look like this, and now it's time to trim them. So for the flying geese general instructions, what you will have in here is the technique on page 5, which is going to be the same technique for any size flying geese. And then we have the trimming on the following pages. I have trimming with either the squared ruler or the XL ruler. So I'm going to show you using the squared ruler. What we are going to be making is flying geese that finish at 4 by 8. So we're always using the white lines, the white dotted lines. So the first side I'm trimming is this side. So I'm lining up the white dotted lines with these 2 seams. Down here, down here. And then our first cuts are going to be according to our chart where we find the 4 by 8. The first cuts are going to be 2 inch and 6.5 inch. So what we want to do is cut through the 2 inch and the 6.5. Now all we're going to do for step 2 of trimming is moving the ruler over, and now I'm using the dotted lines here on the right side to align with the seams on the right side. So once you have that fully aligned, you're going to go to your chart, and for step 2 you're going to cut through the 6 and the 10.5. And now we're going to lift, remove our little slivers. There's one in the middle here. And now we're just going to turn our pieces. And the last bit we're going to do is bring the ruler over. Now we're looking at the white dotted line here on the bottom, aligning that with the seams, the 2 seams diagonally. This looks good. And then our third cuts are going to be through the 2 and the 10.5. And I always recommend, if you're doing a lot of the same sizes, you can always use our ruler stickers to place on those slits so that they're there. I intentionally marked step 1 in the blue, so you can use blue arrows. Step 2 is green, which you can use the green, and the pink, you can use the pink. So it really is bulletproof for trimming our flying geese. So trimming both, once we trim both of these, and of course the other set and the other colorway, you're going to have 4 flying geese that are 4.5 by 8.5, because the finished size, once it's sewn in, is going to be 4 by 8. So the trim is going to be always a 1/2 inch larger on each side. So once we have that, we're going to move on to step number 5. We're going to assemble the flying geese with our fabric, number 5. So we're going to take our other colorway of flying geese. So this is the one that's going to be in that inner star in the pattern. And then sew a rectangle, which is the D rectangle. And then, of course, the other colorway that we just trimmed right here, making sure they are turned exactly like this. So in the pattern, it's turned like this. So this flying geese is going to be on the outer perimeter of the block, and this one is going to be that inner star. So we're going to sew these together and into these 3 units together. So we're going to end up with 4 identical units like this, each containing a flying geese in each of the colorways, and then that D rectangle in between. So making 4 of these. So now we're moving into step number 6, and we're going to make some we're going to make some 1/2 square triangles using a technique that you're making 8 at a time. So I started with my 2 large squares, layered the 2 fabrics together, the fabric 1 and 7 10-inch squares, cut them apart, they're right sides together. So I cut them apart, took them straight to my sewing machine and sewed on those cut edges. Then I pressed towards the darker fabric, took them back to my cutting station, layered them right sides together, and this time I nested the seams, making sure the seams are nested, cut them apart again, and then went ahead and pressed it, sewed on the side, so I cut them apart, sewed, and then we are creating these large quarter square triangles. We are going to be following the technique in our general instructions to trim, and you will have a chart in the general instructions. It's going to be on page 4. This is the trimming for the 1/2 square triangles, 8 at a time. So we're only going to be using 12 1/2 square triangles. With this technique, you will have 4 large quarter square triangles. So one of those we're not going to use. You can set it aside, or you can cut up the 1/2 square triangles just to save for later or a bonus project. But we are going to be making finished size 4-inch finished 1/2 square triangles. So that means I started with my 10-inch squares. I am going to trim the quarter square triangle down to 9 inches and then cut them apart. So has all the markings there. So first off, trim it to 9. So I go here up my left side of the ruler, I find my 9-inch black square. That's my 9-inch. Watching the black diagonal lines, I'm going to line them up on the seams so that my quarter square triangle is centered inside that 9-inch square. And then I'm going to trim the 2 sides. So now it is trimmed to 9 inches on those 2 sides. If you want to, you can also cut through the middle, but then we're not going to turn our piece. So I am going to just trim it first, turn it like this of the fabric, and then it lined up right in the corner. So we're just going to cut it apart here, and you will have your half square triangles. I'm going to do the same here. So don't worry if your things get misaligned as you're cutting. You can always line it back up. So what I wanted to point out here, there are little bits of bulky little triangles in here. So you just clean them apart, clean them away. And there's a little bit one in here that I usually pull out as well. Now, I pressed mine so that we are pressed towards the darker fabric on 3 of them. 1 of them is pressed toward the lighter fabric. So you can flip that just with your iron. So now that you have all your half square triangles, we're only going to be using 12. Remember that. We're going to move on and assemble our steps. Moving on into step number 7. And so step number 7, we're assembling those outside corners of the quilt. So using our half square triangles and some of our other pieces. That first one, we're going to use the square, which is the G square, and then we're going to put a half square triangle on top, turned exactly like this, and then the G square from the background, they're both here. So make sure that you are lining these up and turning that half square triangle exactly like this. We're pressing away from that center, but we're going to make 2 that look like this, and then 2 units that are the exact mirror. So the only thing changing here is the way we turn that half square triangle. So that's step 7. We're going to make 2 of each. Then we move on into step number 8, where we use a half square triangle in the center, and then we have the G squares on the top from the background and on the bottom. And again, we are making 2 that are turned like this and 2 that are the exact mirror image, pressing towards the center on this one. And then our final one, we're using a half square triangle and the F rectangle. So we're sewing the half square triangle to the bottom of the F rectangle and making mirror images, 2 and 2, pressing towards the half square triangle. So now that we have 2 and 2 of each of those, we're going to assemble those into the 2 different blocks in step 10, which means we are using the step 9 and, oh, that's the wrong one. It should be the other one. Step 9, step 8, and then our step 7. So make sure you line it up and look at it before you double check everything before you sew together. And then, so we're going to make 2 blocks that look like this, and then 2 that are the exact mirror image. So they're going to just be facing the opposite directions. So exactly like this. Move this in so you can see it. Right there. So these get sewn together, these get sewn together. We're making 2 of each. So once they are sewn together, like this, you're going to press away from the center, and you have 2 and 2 of those corner units. So now we have all of our pieces for the block, assembled so that all you gotta do is arrange it. And that means in step 11, we are using the corners, of course, and then we take our flying geese units that have been sewn together with a rectangle in between, making sure we turn that the correct way, like this. We're gonna sew these together, and we're gonna make 2 units like this because they're gonna be at the top and then the bottom of the block. 2 units like this, and then we assemble our centers. Move this out of the way because I have limited space, and our center is gonna include our pieced center and more flying geese, making sure we are turning these the opposite ways here. So, and then we pop our center block right in the middle. So here it is, the center. We're gonna sew these seams, and we're gonna press these guys towards the center. The other 2 was away from the center. So then you join all 3 and finish up your block. So there it is, first block ready to go, and I got to talk about something. So if you purchased Jambalaya already, you of course can access the pattern and the video in your account on our website, gequilterscience.com. Now, of course, the day of the first block of Jambalaya, our software that connects the videos to everybody's account was glitching and updating, and we don't know if the issues will all be, or the gremlins will all be gone today, but just know we kind of made a workaround. So when you go to your account, you will not only see the Jambalaya block 1. The first video is going to be a Stripology video, okay? Just a ruler video. You probably won't be able to watch it. So just go down to the second video. That's going to be your Jambalaya video. I know. Isn't it great how, I mean, I'm going to blame the tech bros.
Yeah, those gremlins.
You know, we asked for support, and then, yeah, no, we can maybe fit you in tomorrow. Okay, well, we found a workaround. So we just added another video, and then the first video was glitching. So then you have your Jambalaya. So it's all good.
Okay.
Now, of course, I made the one that you saw in the video with you, and I have it here. So I actually just quilted this. Well, I didn't quilt it. Mr. HB quilted it for me. So this is its own little like quilt. I did add just a 2-inch border around the outside. So it does measure. You know, after quilting will shrink a little bit. So now that the binding is on, it's exactly 35 inches. So if you're gonna donate it to a specific NICU program or whatever, just make sure you know that. But I think it turned out really, really cute. And my little stuffed llama agrees. Look at that. It's just perfect for the little one. So this one, the Jambalaya program, of course, is a full year program. We're going to have 9 of these jumbo blocks. Each jumbo block is named after a wonderful city in Louisiana. We started off with New Orleans, of course. And this one, you will find all the information about the program on our website. You can purchase the whole thing, which means all 9 quilts, all 9 block patterns, videos. All of them are stripologized. You saw the appendix of the general instructions. Here's my other block. They're so big you can't see it.
So big.
This one, I'm gonna make all the blocks in these kinds of colors with the same background. So they'll be into a big quilt, kind of a little more modern and contemporary fabrics. but I probably will make a second one of all the quilts. So I can personally donate a quilt from every month. Now, if you're interested in maybe doing some quilts to donate, we have a whole list of people that have volunteered, and thank you all that have volunteered to receive quilts. So what you can do is go on our Jambalaya page on our website. There is a PDF download there. You can just click on it with a list of all the people that have volunteered. We didn't want to embed their emails and stuff on the website, but you can download the PDF and then you figure out which one is closest to where you live. Maybe it's in your state or even your city. Contact the person that is the volunteer. There might be some specific requirements or details because they do vary a little bit in size between the NICUs, but all our blocks are 32 inches to start with, so you can add a sliver of a border. If they need to be rectangular, you can add a top and bottom border. Are there instructions for the Stripology XL ruler? Yes, absolutely. So just like I showed you when I was doing the flying geese with the squared ruler, the charts are all there for the XL. I even included those instances where we can use the mini rulers, but as you can see, these are big blocks. So most times we're using the big rulers. So thank you, volunteers. We really appreciate it. I think this is going to be super fun, and our volunteers are going to keep a tally throughout the year so we can have a number of Jambalaya quilts that go to NICUs or are donated. And of course, you don't have to do it through the program. You can donate your own quilts if you want to give them to whoever. This is like a really good little size for little kids to kind of tug around with. I think toddlers is a great toddler quilt, or just like a little play mat. So I love them, and I'm so excited to see all your blocks. Now, any other questions on Jambalaya? No? Who is participating? Tell me. So, yeah, somebody said my fabrics on the second one are giving a graffiti vibe. That's what I wanted. I'm using eBond's line, so mixed with some other basics. But these are so great to use for example color clubs, because a lot of the fabric requirements for each block are going to be fat quarters, fat eighths, or for our background, we're always about a half yard to maybe 2/3 of a yard for the background. So I am excited. Yay. And like I said, the first one was pretty simple and basic, and we're gonna kind of explore our skills and teach you some new things throughout the whole program. So these are jumbo. They're not just big. These are jumbo blocks. Jambalaya. I know. I'm very excited about it, and I think this is going to be so much fun to see all of your quilts. Quilts, whether they become bigger quilts or just one, because those of you that haven't heard about our Jambalaya program, one block is 32 inches, which means you can put 4 together and get a nice square lap size quilt. You can put 6 blocks together, and that's a really nice size twin or a full if you add a border. And then if you put all 9 together, that's a king size quilt. Just love it. Okay, Angela's going to donate them all to a local NICU. I love that. Love that. Give them to the babies. So we'll be talking more about if you need a little. So what's fun about these, if you're giving them to babies, we have some bundles that are, kind of more juvenile or a little baby-ish. We don't really carry a lot of like super baby because a lot of parents these days don't necessarily like it to be gender specific or, just want all the colors and fun stuff. But there's some cutesy little things.
Angela's humble to the jumbo.
Humble to the big jumbo. I love it. But the great thing is you can purchase a half-yard bundle and then just use like one of the prints, 1 or 2 of the prints in one quilt, and then a couple of other ones in another. They go a long way because half-yard, of course, equals 2 fat quarters. So this is going to be a great way to use up what you have, and then you can purchase to kind of supplement. So love that. All right, we are going to be tracking our progress here throughout the year. But let's dive into our next topic. I mean, we have the Stripology retreat coming up next week now. I feel like we talk about this for months and months, and it's so far away, and now all of a sudden,
it's here.
It's here.
It's here.
So tomorrow, we are going to have our tech day. So what we do, we sent out, actually in your account, there's a PDF now. If you go onto your retreat, there's a PDF there with a Zoom link for our tech day tomorrow. It's at 3:30 Central Time. So if you can't make it, you can't make it. And if you are very comfortable with your Zoom and your tech setup, don't worry about it. But if you are joining us for a retreat for the first time, we highly recommend you joining us for this little short meeting. We're just going to go through the process so that you can test your setup, test your, if you're using an iPad or a laptop or a phone or whatever you're going to do, you can kind of test it out. I'm going to kind of test sending you guys to the breakout rooms, which is the fun part, and so you kind of are comfortable before we kick it off on retreat day number 1.
It's helpful.
It's really helpful, and it gets people excited a little bit, and so we are of course very excited about boarding our Stripology Sea super yacht. I don't know if you are, but still a little reminder that we are going to stay really quiet on what is in our retreat boxes because they have been arriving everywhere. And so because in there is also information on where we're going. So we're going to keep it quiet so that everybody gets to be surprised. Yes. So those of you that have received your retreat box and opened it, you should open it, actually. You should open it. I just want to know your level of excitement from 1 to 10. How excited are you to travel without leaving your house? I love that part. Yes, lots of excited people. That's great.
Love where we're going.
So, love where we're going. Good. That's all we're going to say. And I do want to also remind you, if you are a retreater, first-time retreater, so a week before the retreat, the first day, which is session 1, will be this coming Friday morning, you will receive cutting instructions for your fabrics that were in your box, and you will also receive a video where I take you through it. So not just the cutting, but the prep. So many of you are asking about if you should starch. Is there enough fabric to starch or pre-wash? The short answer is yes, but there's a little but there. There's a little but. So if you could wait until after you get that video this Friday to do your starching or washing, that would be great. That would be great. All right. So hopefully we'll see a lot of you then. We also have a Facebook group now dedicated to the retreat. We always do this because then we can share some inside information. And so our Facebook group is just literally go to facebook.com/group/2026 Stripology Retreat. Virtual retreat, sorry. 2026 Stripology Virtual Retreat. And there's also a link on our regular page and in the crew. So join us there. You do have to go look up your order number first, because when you ask to join, you have to type that in. If you don't type it in, it's going to take a little longer to get in because we have to go back and look at and see if you're actually registered for retreat. All right. Any questions?
No.
Any questions?
Folks are excited.
Love.
Yeah.
First time retreater in week 2, Sally. Yes, session 2. So session 1 is our weekend, so Friday through Sunday. And then our midweek one is the following Wednesday through Friday.
We're going to have so much fun in the North Pole. Oh, I mean.
Huh? What'd you say? And of course, the shirts, you can order the shirts on our website. They come straight from the printers to your house. So custom orders. So you can order those now and still get them before retreat. I love them. I love the color. It just takes you to the ocean, doesn't it?
So tropical.
It really does. All right. Let's just recap a little bit. Last week, a week from today, we revealed my next fabric collection. It's not gonna get in our hands until November. However, we have pre-orders open because Andover opened up pre-orders to the shops. So this one is called Nordic Solstice. So it has a little bit of a winter theme, you know, the winter solstice. But I have colored some quilts, digital. They're not real quilts yet. But here is our retreat quilt, Hera, colored in Nordic Solstice. So now I'm excited to get this fabric because I think I need to make one out of this one. And also our second retreat quilt is Rita, and I switched up the background color. Actually used one of my fabrics from the Hema basic collection. I used the lichen and the obsidian for the background, and I just love this one too. I think I'm gonna have to make this one too. Mm-hmm. We have two new patterns coming as well. The first one is called Frosty Windows, and I really just designed this for this amazing landscape print, this ombre landscape print that is in the line. You can see it in those vertical borders. Love it. And so we have a blue colorway and then a green colorway. And so these will be individual patterns, and we will have some pre-orders for kits if you want to have this kitted up. We'll have that in a few weeks. But right now, the main project from this line that I designed is called Isold. And this is the quilt. So it's a 76-inch wide, square quilt. And this will be a 5-part, kind of a block of the month program, short one. We will kick it off in January 27, but we have opened up registrations. If you want to secure a quilt, you can do a reservation, like a $50 fee. That's going to be just a down payment towards your full kit. And we have it in the 76 by 76 inches, or you can do a king size. So there is two options. So when you go to the product, there's two variants. You either reserve the regular size or the king size, which is 100 by 100. Just adding that fun little simple border, which is going to drape really nicely on a king size bed. But we also have, here's the whole line. So it's beautiful 24, sorry.
What does
24
Isold,
prints.
What does that mean, Isold?
Isold.
Isold.
It's Isold, Isold is a very traditional Icelandic name. Is means ice, so it has a reference to that frostiness, but it is a very traditional Icelandic female name. Mm-hmm. Yes, it actually is found in German too, but they pronounce it a little bit differently. Okay. In Icelandic, there is like a little accent over the I. Yeah, but we have the whole line too up for pre-order. So there's 24 prints. We have it available in a 1-yard bundle where you get a yard of each one. We have it in a half yard. We have it in a fat quarter bundle, but you can pre-order, and so that's securing your fabric, of course, because this is not going to be a reprintable line like the Hema Basic Collection. This is a one-time, and then there's the reservation. Sorry, yes, the standard size for Isold, and so Isold is 76 by 76. In Icelandic, you have that little accent over the I. You can see it there. Isold. And it is a 5-part. So included in this package that you can reserve now with $50 is all the fabric for the top, 76 by 76, includes the binding, 5-part block of the month. That means you get the full printed pattern and the 5-part video classes. And that is included in the standard size. If you choose the king, of course, that'll be just a little bit more expensive because you have more fabric in there. Isold does not use all of them, but a lot of them. A lot of them. It really does. I think I don't remember exactly, but there's 20 something. Yeah, there's a lot of them in there. And there's the king size. So yeah, wanted to remind you of this one. because, you know, once we have a limited time, just like every quilt shop, to place our order for fabric. So then we have to, this is why we do reservations for big projects like this. Then we have an idea how many really want this, and we can place our order that way. We always order a little bit more, but if you don't reserve, there's never a full guarantee that you can get it later. So how is it gonna work? Your reservation fee, $50, goes towards your whole kit. And then in August or September, I think, we will send you an invoice for the difference. And then the fabric comes in November, and we'll ship to you in December, and we'll start our Isold in January. Yay! And of course, we'll stripologize the whole thing. It will include instructions for regular rulers as well. But who wants to do that when you can do it the Stripology way?
Right.
But always included, of course. So any questions? Any questions? Any questions? It's not all half square triangles and squares. Lots of them. There's some flying geese in there. And there's some fun little, you know, combination units. But it is not hard. It is not hard. If you're wondering, if you compare it to Echoes of Iceland that we just started working on, we started our first class last month, or this month. There are smaller pieces in that first block of Echoes than there are in Isold, just so you know. Just so you know. It may look hard, but it's not. When you break things down, everything is achievable, all right? We have some great fabric, brand new fabric in the store. And this, I have one here that, well, actually both of them are fantastic, very different from each other. I've been waiting for both of them. This first one is by a favorite designer from Windham Fabrics. Her first line debuted last year, and this one is no different. This is called Flora and Form. It is by Essoldo Designs. For Windham Fabrics. So there's a little bit of gold metallic in here, but don't be afraid of it. It just really makes this so cool. I mean, glitter, a little sparkle is its own color and is so great. So starting with this print, it really, you can see all the colors that are gonna be included in the other prints. These deep teals, beautiful greens, and then of course this burnt orange and just all the hues, lots of little grays, hues of gray, but this is just so adorable. This reminds me of like when you take rocks and paint them. This reminds me of that, which is very Icelandic, yeah. Painting rocks. We got lots of rocks in Iceland. The next print is a smaller scale, more so in those earthy tones. This peach, like a peach and a little burnt orange, rusty reds. Going into a little bit of a more larger scale, but I love this because it really looks almost like stained glass with that little outlines on the prints. But going into a little bit of a deeper red here. And then we have a calmer print, just this deep red, but textured. And then we have the gold metallic little leaves on top. I love this tone as well. And here we have a multi-print, another gorgeous multi-print, more of the leaves and more natural nature, but look how gorgeous this green is. I just love it. Kind of a deep forest green, but a little muted with some teal in it. I don't know how to describe it, but it's beautiful. We have the same small print here we had in the kind of peachy colorway, in the deep greens, and also the beautiful leaf print here. Turn this way. So I just love this green color. Green is always a favorite of mine. Then we have more into the teal, so the same print that you had here, but in this blue hues, and you see more of the brighter blues coming through. And then there's a cool stripe. Look at this. It's gonna repeat from selvage to selvage, so how cool is that? It is not even a repeat. It's a repeat on the other side, but it's continuous. So if you cut strips, you can piece them together. It's going to continue the pattern, which is really cool. Love this one. And then we go into more of the deeper blues. We have that same large print that reminds me of like a stained glass, but I love that it's tone on tone. So it's going to cut up really nicely. And even a deeper, kind of a blackish blue. So there's a lot of blue hue to this, but it looks black, but it has a lot of blue undertone. So it goes really well with everything. And the final print is just this tone on tone texture with gold, kind of like a splatter on top. So look how beautiful this line is. I love, love, love it. So as far as my fabric pulls, I am going to be starting, I'm going to start here on the light side. So going into some of those peachy colors. So Rainier Peach. And when I looked at this fabric, it didn't feel like it would match this, but look when you put it on there. That's exactly the tone. It's Rainier in the peach color. This is a motor line that we still have some of, but it just works perfectly. And another basic, a little bit more muted. This is Seedling in the Clay from Art Gallery. Another great match here with these tones. Going into the more rusty reds, Bumbleberries, Autumnal Terracotta has a variety of the tones in there. And then I had to pull out a little bit darker, but with variety. This is, of course, Hema Glacier in the Saddle. Look how great that is with all those really warm, nice tones. For the greens, starting with Grunge Eucalyptus, because it's such a unique green. Look how perfect of a tone that is. Love that one. And then a little darker for the darker tones in this print, I went with Stash in the Stitches Olive. This basic collection, the Stash, seems to work really well with these fabrics. So you'll see it more often in this next one. Stash Check in the blue. So because it has that teal undertone, you'll see how great it is with these teals. It just looks great. And another teal undertone is another Hema Glacier Waterfall. It has the blues, but also that teal undertone that works really well with these. For the darkest, I went with Solidish Black to kind of match this one. You'll see it has some warm undertone, so it really works well. But then I went with Stellar, the Deco Stitch Stellar, because it is almost a pure black, but it has gray in it, and you'll see a lot of gray in the accents. So this one, as you can see, it blends very nicely with that darkest one, so it works well. If I were to choose a background for this fabric, I wouldn't go white because there's so much kind of light gray in here. So a little bit calmer option would be to do a little silver gray. So I have Hema Lichen in the Icicle. I mean, it is very, very light, but there's a faint light gray, silvery undertone. So I think that would be great. Or if you wanted to go a little darker on the gray, this is Nitty Gritty in the Glass. So it has more gray to it, but it works really well. Just depends on how light you want to go with your background. And then you have to have a little punch. So two options. If you wanted to kind of go with the gold, even though this is metallic, I would not have a metallic accent fabric. Closest to it, Bumbleberry's English Mustard has that golden tone. And so that's going to bring that out if you wanted to bring that out. So that would be a great option for accentuating that gold. But there's also a really fun, look at this bright red, like kind of a bright fiery red in there, almost an orange. They're sprinkled throughout the prints. So I thought the Hema and the Lichen Poppy would be a fantastic sharp accent for a little pop. So this is Flora and Form by Essoldo Designs, but let me show you a couple of options for great wide backs. I kind of went with a neutral side because sometimes when we're using black in a fabric, you kind of want to go dark on the back side. This is spotted graffiti in the overnight, so more of the lighter grays and some hints of black. The feel of this print works really well with this one, artsy and cool. And the other option is rainbow droplets charcoal. So again, just a little variety in the grays, but both great options. My second line is going to look very different, but very whimsical and feels very homey to me. This is called Celtic Summer by Lewis and Irene. Look, we have some Highland cows, some beautiful thistles, and a gorgeous colorway. Starting with this main print, it has just a little bit of a lavender undertone. So taupey lavender undertone. What I love about it, it has all the hues of plum, purple, lavender, amethyst. It has all of it in there. Just gorgeous artwork like Lewis and Irene are known for. Little honeybees on the thistles. So this really sets the tone. Also some nice, warm, neutral colors in there. And then from there, we're gonna start with the cows. Look at this. Gorgeous lavender back. The Highland cows, there's even a little calf here, just grazing among the thistles. Just love that. And then we have a beautiful tone on tone here in that lavender color. These are thistles and leaves, and there's even a little Celtic design in between, which I think is beautiful. I added a bumbleberries in here, and this one may seem out of the blue, but it's a perfect pop. It has all the layers of those tones. As you can see in the thistles, it is a perfect match. So blend it in or pull it out and use it as an accent, but it's a great, great bumbleberries color. Bumbleberries is made by Lewis and Irene, so it really makes sense. Here you can see it even better, the tones. Love this. This is a little more compact, a beautiful sage green in here as well. And then we have the lightest print here and smallest with just these small thistles, and then these are little honeybees. So cute. And we have some seeds blowing in the wind. Going into a little bit more in that sage green. You can see the background here being that sage green. So it's the same print as we have here, just with that green background, but beautiful. The tones of all of those purples are just wonderful. And then we have that same small print in the sage green background. And that first print that I showed you, now we're going, it has like a lavender, light blue, gray undertone. Just a really unique color here, but I just love the feel of it. It's so soothing, kind of. We have the cows in that more of a gray blue background. It's kind of fun how you notice the white flowers more here than maybe you did in the lavender. I was just looking at the cows. And then we have that same tone on tone print in this beautiful bluish gray color. And the last print, yes, we got to have one more cow, but this one is different. It's a plaid with just the tossed little Highland cows on top. How cute is that? Just love this collection. So let me show you some of the colors that I picked if you wanted to add to it, or some complementary prints. Starting with the beautiful lavenders. I chose this Flora Elements Lavender Haze, so a very light lavender. And so just because, and here's a little tip, even though you don't get a perfect match, because there's so many hues of that lavender, plum, purple, amethyst, you can kind of bridge it with a hue that's in between. So the second one is Stash Stripe Dot in the Orchid. Love this one. It is a little bit, you can maybe notice a little bit darker, but with the white in here and the texture, it just feels really nice with it. I brought in the bumbleberries. Berry Purple is the name of this bumbleberries. So if you wanted more of it, we got it in our basics. And then for the light tones, I went two ways. I had to do a bumbleberries. This is just bumbleberries white, but their white is not fully white. It is off-white and with some creamy dots on it. So it works perfectly with these lighter toned prints. And if you wanted to add a little bit of gray, I chose Flora Elements Chalk because there is this taupey gray print on the flowers. And that works really nicely because there's so much of a gray undertone. For the green hues, I chose Seedling in the Sage, a very light sage, but look how great it looks here. It's perfect. And then again, I chose another stash. This one is called Stash Check in Sage. Again, looks darker, but when you put it here, it just belongs. It's just so great. For this really unique tone of gray, this one has that lavender undertone. Deco Stitch Rain Cloud is perfect. Look how great it fits. It's a great hue. And another option that's just as great is Retro Stitch Carbon. And you'll see how it has that purplish lavender undertone, and so it would work great in here. For the ones that have a more of a blue hue to it, I chose Flora Elements Arctic. Yes, on its own, this is gonna look blue, but when you put it down here, it works great. That's what's so fun with color. It's so fun to play with color. The other one is Grunge Ash. It has blue specks in it, so that one is gonna work great as well with all those colors. It's so fun. Let's take a look at some options for a sharp accent. I would probably use a light background for this, or if you wanted to go really dark and deep in purples, you could. Glaze Maroon is one option. I love this beautiful color. So you can see that these deeper tones in the thistles, these are perfect. You could use this as a background. You really could. So that's one option. A second one is pulling out the amethyst, the deep purples. Nitty Gritty Dark Violet has those amethyst tones, but also the brighter and the lavender. It has a mix of everything. So that would be a great pop because it belongs and makes sense. And then the last option, of course, if you want to really pull out the color of the Highland Cows, that beautiful rusty red, I brought you another stash, Stripe Dot Rust. Love this color. And look how great it is with all the cows. It's just the perfect tone. So that could be a great accent as well. Couple of options for 108. We have Bell Purple, just something light with all those tones of lavender, violet, purple, amethyst. They're all in there. That would be a great one. Or if you wanted to be more of a meadow, here's another perfect one. Which includes some of the blues and the grays. This one is called Whispering Garden in the purple. So this is Celtic Summer by Lewis and Irene. All right, so two great lines. If you could choose one and you could just have it in your house, which one would you choose? I don't know, it's a hard one. I love both of them. I love both of them so much. So tell us in the comments. But that's the end of our show. We have a giveaway question for you. So all you got to do is answer this also in the comments and you're entered into our giveaway. And this kind of goes back to our Jambalaya. Have you ever donated a quilt? And if so, you want to take a guess on how many? Oh boy, I've donated a lot. So I can't even imagine. I think I used to go every Christmas.
More than 100?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
More than
I
200.
would take stacks every year.
300.
Probably close to that. Yeah. And if we go collective and how many GE has donated, it's way more. Yeah, I don't know.
Lots.
I don't know, but that would have been a great thing to keep track of throughout my life, wouldn't it? It would be fun to know that number. But let us know in the comments that you're automatically entered into the giveaway. Now, our next shows are coming up this Friday. It's going to be February 27th at 12 p.m. Central Time. And then a week from today, we have our Tipsy Tuesday, our first Tipsy of March.
Wow.
And that's going to be March 3rd at 4 p.m. Central Time. Wow. March already.
March already.
And that means
March Madness.
Retreat. Yay! So excited. So those of you joining us for a retreat, remember Tech Zoom test day tomorrow, 3:30 p.m. Central Time. The link, you have a PDF in your account. The link is also on our Facebook group page, our retreat group page. So join us if you want to test your tech or just come and say hi and get excited about
If nothing else, update
the fun.
your
Yes.
Zoom.
First thing you do, update the software.
There's a new one in February, so update.
Yeah, it was an update, yes.
Yeah.
So make sure. And if you don't have Zoom downloaded on your device yet, you got to start there.
Start there.
I know. Any questions coming up?
Yeah. What is Zoom? What is Zoom?
Zoom? Well, that's our software that we use to connect. It's like a virtual meeting software that everybody had to learn how to use during COVID.
Yeah.
And it's a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful thing.
Some are already pros.
Yes, yes. And know much more than we do even.
Yeah.
But that is our show for today. We hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. Just take care of yourself, do a little bit of quilting, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.
Step into the groove, it's the place to stay. GE Designs got the Stripology way. Quilting with the beat, you feel that heat. We're the rulers of the strips, every inch so neat. Lay your fabric here, lay it right here. Cut it right there, cut it right there. Precision in the rhythm can't help but stare. From morning to night we could and we can. Every quilt a masterpiece, nothing can compare. Home of the Stripology, feel that vibe. GE Designs where precision is our vibe. Cut it, slice it, make it so right. Quilters paradise, sewing in the moonlight. Measure once, cut twice, that's the funky rule. Stripology magic, yeah. It's hella cool. Turn that fabric loose, make it strut and stroll. We're jamming with the quilts in control. Oh, everybody now, lift up those strips, Feel the stripology. Adding flair to your life, from edge to edge. We groove through the night, sew it up, show it off with a glorious sight. Home of the Stripology, feel that vibe. GE Designs where precision is our vibe. Cut it, slice it, make it so right.